Stabilizing insulin and supporting blood flow through intermittent fasting and low-carb eating begins with understanding how deeply insulin affects almost every system in the male body. Most people only think of insulin as the hormone that manages blood sugar, but for men dealing with declining energy, sluggish performance, or reduced vitality after 40 or 50, insulin plays a much bigger role. When insulin stays high, it blocks fat burning, creates inflammation, and slows down the vascular system. Over time, this affects circulation, hormone balance, muscle mass, and overall stamina. Many men don't realize that even small amounts of hidden sugars or frequent snacking can keep insulin elevated all day long. Every time you eat, especially carbs, your body triggers an insulin response. So when you're grazing from morning to night, your insulin never gets a break and the body isn't able to repair, detoxify, or restore its normal function. Intermittent fasting works because it gives insulin a chance to come down. When insulin drops, the body shifts into a healing mode where it can finally burn stored fat, reduce inflammation, and improve circulation. For many men, even starting with a simple 16-8 fasting schedule makes a noticeable difference. You stop eating after dinner, skip breakfast, and have your first meal around lunchtime. This gives your system around 16 hours of rest every day. During this window, your body taps into stored energy, clears out damaged cells, and improves overall metabolic health. With fasting, you're not starving yourself, you're giving your body space to reset. Most men report better mental clarity, lighter digestion, and more stable energy within a few days of adopting intermittent fasting because the body is no longer overwhelmed by constant insulin spikes. Reducing carbohydrate intake amplifies these effects even further. Carbs, especially refined ones like bread, rice, pasta, sweets, juices, and processed snacks trigger the biggest insulin responses. When a man cuts back on these foods, his insulin levels stabilize more quickly. Low-carb eating doesn't mean you eliminate all carbohydrates, but it does mean choosing smarter sources: vegetables, leafy greens, small amounts of berries, and nutrient-dense whole foods. These don't spike insulin the way processed carbs do. When you combine this with intermittent fasting, you create a metabolic environment where the body becomes efficient at using fat for fuel. This not only helps with weight around the midsection, but also supports healthy hormone production and better circulation. Belly fat itself is metabolically active and produces chemicals that disrupt testosterone balance. So the more you reduce insulin, the easier it is for your hormones to rebalance naturally. Blood flow is another key factor, and insulin has a major influence on it as well. High insulin damages the lining of your blood vessels over time, making them stiff and less responsive. This reduces nitric oxide production, a natural compound that helps your blood vessels relax and expand. When nitric oxide levels drop, circulation becomes restricted. By lowering insulin through fasting and low-carb nutrition, you support healthier, more flexible blood vessels. Better blood flow means better oxygen delivery, better nutrient transport, and improved overall vitality. Many men notice positive changes not because they took a pill, but because they removed the root cause of the circulation problem. Another benefit of stabilizing insulin is improved inflammation control. Chronic inflammation often goes unnoticed, but it silently affects the heart, blood vessels, nerves, and metabolism. High insulin is one of the biggest drivers of inflammation. When you bring insulin down, the inflammatory load decreases, making the entire cardiovascular system function more efficiently. This directly supports smoother circulation and healthier tissue function throughout the body. Men over 50 especially benefit because inflammation tends to rise naturally with age, and lowering insulin helps slow that process down. Intermittent fasting also improves mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are the tiny power plants in your cells that produce energy. When insulin is constantly high, mitochondria get sluggish and produce less energy. Fasting activates a process called autophagy, where the body cleans out old or damaged mitochondria and replaces them with fresh, efficient ones. This boosts stamina, mental sharpness, and overall performance. When your cells produce energy more efficiently, the body feels stronger and functions better. Low-carb eating supports this mitochondrial improvement because it reduces oxidative stress. Carbohydrates produce more free radicals when metabolized, especially processed carbs. Healthy fats, on the other hand, burn cleaner and supply longer-lasting energy. When you shift your diet toward fats like avocado, nuts, seeds, eggs, olive oil, coconut oil, and fatty fish, your body has a more stable energy source. Fat doesn't require large amounts of insulin to break down, so it keeps your metabolic state calm and consistent. This helps maintain healthy circulation and hormone balance while giving your body the steady fuel it needs. Stable insulin also affects the liver. The liver is responsible for processing hormones, regulating cholesterol, and managing detoxification. High insulin forces the liver to store excess sugar as fat, which leads to fatty liver. When the liver becomes fatty, its ability to handle hormones becomes impaired. But fasting and low-carb eating help reverse fatty liver naturally by allowing the liver to empty out stored fat. As the liver gets healthier, hormone regulation improves and the entire metabolic system becomes more efficient. Healthy liver function is crucial for men who want better vitality, clearer thinking, and improved metabolic health. Another aspect of stabilizing insulin is improving adrenal balance. When your insulin is high, your stress hormones also tend to fluctuate because the body is constantly trying to keep glucose in check. By reducing insulin load, your adrenal glands don't have to work as hard, which helps stabilize cortisol levels. Balanced cortisol means better sleep, improved mood, more stable energy, and better hormone signaling. Many men over 50 struggle with stress and sleep issues, and much of this traces back to metabolic imbalance driven by high insulin. Once insulin stabilizes, cortisol becomes more balanced and the entire hormonal system functions more smoothly. As insulin improves, circulation naturally gets better. Blood becomes less thick, vessels become more flexible, and oxygen delivery increases. When the body isn't fighting constant metabolic stress, tissues repair more effectively. Many men notice warmer hands and feet, better stamina during physical activity, and improved overall vitality. These improvements are not from a single supplement or a temporary solution. They come from supporting the body's natural mechanisms through fasting and carb reduction. All these benefits work together to help men regain energy, confidence, and physical strength by addressing the root cause instead of covering symptoms. The combination of fasting and low-carb eating is one of the most powerful, natural ways to restore metabolic health, support circulation, and help the body function the way it was designed to without forcing it or overstimulating it. Lowering stress and improving hormone balance with quality sleep, sunlight, and daily movement starts with understanding how interconnected these three factors are. Stress isn't just a mental experience, it's a physical, hormonal load that affects virtually every system in the body. When stress hormones stay elevated, especially cortisol, they interfere with energy, mood, motivation, and overall vitality. Many men over 40 and 50 assume that feeling drained or tense is normal, but much of it comes from chronic stress signals that never switch off. When cortisol remains high for months or years, it lowers testosterone, disrupts sleep, increases inflammation, and slows circulation. This creates a chain reaction that affects energy levels and daily function. By focusing on simple lifestyle habits that bring cortisol down naturally, the body begins to rebalance itself without force or medication. Quality sleep is one of the most powerful tools for restoring hormone balance. Sleep is when your body does its deepest repair work. Testosterone rises, growth hormone increases, inflammation decreases, and the nervous system resets. But many men don't get this type of sleep because their hormones are already disrupted. Poor sleep creates a loop where low-quality rest raises cortisol even more the next day, making it harder to fall asleep the following night. It becomes a vicious cycle. Improving sleep isn't only about getting more hours, it's about creating conditions where your hormones can settle. This means avoiding heavy meals late at night because digestion raises insulin and cortisol right when your body should be winding down. It also means limiting screen exposure after dark because blue light tricks the brain to thinking it's daytime and delays melatonin release. Even a small change like dimming lights an hour before bed signals your brain to begin winding down and helps regulate your circadian rhythm. Stress reduction also comes from stabilizing your daily routine. Waking up at consistent times, getting exposure to morning sunlight, and creating a rhythm for eating and movement helps regulate cortisol naturally. Morning sunlight is especially important because it tells your internal clock that it's time to wake and boosts serotonin, which later converts into melatonin at night. Sunlight also plays a major role in vitamin D production, and vitamin D is essential for balanced hormones, strong immune function, and overall energy. Many men over 50 are low in vitamin D without realizing it, and this deficiency alone can contribute to fatigue, low mood, and weakened hormone signals. Just 15 to 20 minutes of direct sunlight on your skin can make a noticeable difference over time. It also helps set the body's natural daytime-nighttime rhythm, which lowers cortisol during the evening and supports deeper sleep. Daily movement is another critical part of lowering stress. It doesn't have to be intense exercise. Even 20 to 30 minutes of walking can lower cortisol, improve circulation, and increase endorphins. Movement helps your body process stress hormones more efficiently. When you stay sedentary for too long, cortisol stays trapped, leading to tension, reduced blood flow, and mental fog. Physical activity also boosts nitric oxide, which supports better circulation and oxygen delivery. Over time, consistent movement helps regulate the adrenal glands, which reduces the intensity of stress responses. Many men notice that after a few days of daily walking or light exercise, their mood lifts, their sleep improves, and their energy becomes more stable. Combining sunlight and movement magnifies these benefits. A brisk walk outdoors in the morning or evening naturally lowers stress hormones, supports cardiovascular health, and clears the mind. Nature exposure itself has been shown to reduce sympathetic nervous system activity, which means your body shifts out of fight or flight mode. When your nervous system calms down, hormone balance becomes easier to maintain. Even short breaks outside during the workday can reset your stress levels and prevent tension from building. Another aspect of improving hormone balance is managing emotional stress. Many men carry stress from work, finances, or family responsibilities without addressing it. This silent stress raises cortisol just as much as physical stress. Techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, or simply taking 5 minutes to pause during the day help slow the heart rate and relax the nervous system. When you intentionally take slow, deep breaths, your cortisol drops almost immediately. This is because deep breathing activates the parasympathetic system, which is responsible for rest and recovery. Doing this regularly creates a habit where your body no longer stays stuck in stress mode. Reducing stimulants also plays a role. Caffeine and energy drinks raise cortisol, and when consumed late in the day, they interfere with sleep. Many men over 40 become more sensitive to stimulants without realizing it, so cutting back or limiting caffeine to the morning can help prevent evening restlessness. Alcohol can also disrupt sleep cycles even if it helps you fall asleep initially. It interferes with deep sleep stages, causing you to wake up tired and raising cortisol the next day. Being mindful of these habits makes an immediate difference in stress regulation. Nutrition also supports stress and hormone balance. Stable blood sugar keeps cortisol stable because dips and spikes in glucose force the adrenal glands to compensate. Eating whole foods, healthy fats, protein, and low-carb meals throughout the day helps prevent the highs and lows that stress the body. Magnesium-rich foods like spinach, nuts, avocado, and pumpkin seeds help relax the muscles and calm the nervous system. Magnesium deficiency is extremely common and contributes to poor sleep, anxiety, muscle tension, and irritability. When you increase magnesium intake through food or supplements, your body becomes more resilient to stress. Hydration plays a role too. Dehydration raises cortisol and makes you feel fatigued. Drinking enough water throughout the day helps maintain energy, reduces stress on the cardiovascular system, and supports hormone function. Even mild dehydration can trigger headaches and irritability, which indirectly raise stress levels. When you combine sleep, sunlight, and movement, the body's hormone system becomes more balanced naturally. Testosterone increases when stress is lower. Growth hormone rises when sleep improves. Cortisol becomes regulated when you establish natural rhythms through sunlight and routine. Nitric oxide improves circulation during movement, which supports overall vitality. This combination works because it aligns with how the human body is designed to function. You're not forcing hormones to change. You're allowing them to normalize by removing the stressors that disrupt them. Men often underestimate how powerful these simple habits can be. Before trying supplements or medications, supporting sleep, sunlight, and daily movement stabilizes the foundation of hormone health. The body becomes stronger, calmer, and more energized when these systems are in sync. Even small improvements in these areas create noticeable changes in mood, stamina, mental clarity, and overall well-being because the body finally gets the signals it needs to operate smoothly. Strengthening circulation and vitality with nutrient-dense foods, healthy fats, and nitric oxide boosting habits starts with understanding how deeply your diet and daily choices influence blood flow, oxygen delivery, and overall energy levels. As men get older, especially after 40 or 50, circulation naturally declines due to changes in blood vessel flexibility, lower nitric oxide production, and higher inflammation. But these changes are not fixed. The body responds incredibly well when you feed it the right nutrients and incorporate simple habits that support vascular health. Blood flow is central to how you feel every day. Your stamina, focus, mood, and overall performance all depend on how efficiently oxygen moves through your system. When circulation slows, you feel sluggish, heavy, tired, and less motivated. Supporting circulation isn't just about the heart, it's about the entire network of vessels, nerves, and hormones working together. Nutrient-dense foods are the foundation of good circulation because they supply the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and amino acids your blood vessels need to stay flexible and responsive. Vegetables like spinach, kale, beetroot, arugula, cabbage, and broccoli are rich in compounds that support the endothelial layer of your blood vessels. This layer is responsible for producing nitric oxide, the molecule that helps your vessels relax and widen. Without enough nitric oxide, blood flow becomes restricted and pressure increases. Foods rich in nitrates like beets and arugula directly elevate nitric oxide production, giving your blood vessels more ability to expand naturally. These foods also lower oxidative stress, which protects the lining of the arteries from damage over time. Healthy fats are equally important because hormones rely on cholesterol and healthy fatty acids to function properly. Many men are told to avoid fat, but the right fats actually support cardiovascular health and energy production. Avocados, olive oil, coconut oil, walnuts, almonds, chia seeds, fatty fish, and pasture-raised eggs provide nutrients that reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and support hormone balance. Omega-3 fats found in fish like salmon, sardines, and macro help reduce stiffness in blood vessels and improve blood flow. They also support the brain, heart, and nervous system. When you increase healthy fats and reduce processed carbohydrates, your insulin levels stabilize, which directly benefits circulation because high insulin causes the vessels to stiffen over time. Protein also plays a role in supporting vitality. Amino acids like L-arginine and L-citrulline found in foods such as turkey, fish, beets, watermelon, and nuts help your body produce more nitric oxide. Arginine is used by the body to create nitric oxide, and citrulline converts into arginine naturally. This combination supports smooth muscle relaxation in the blood vessels, helping them stay flexible. As men age, nitric oxide production drops significantly, but diet can bring those levels back up naturally. Antioxidant-rich foods protect your circulation by reducing inflammation and preventing oxidative damage to the blood vessels. Berries, pomegranate, green tea, garlic, turmeric, and ginger are powerful natural protectors. Pomegranate in particular has been shown to improve blood vessel function by increasing nitric oxide activity. Garlic helps the arteries stay flexible and lowers inflammation. Turmeric reduces oxidative stress, which helps the endothelial cells maintain their ability to regulate blood flow. These foods support vitality by allowing the cardiovascular system to operate efficiently. When it comes to lifestyle habits, supporting nitric oxide production is one of the fastest ways to improve circulation. One simple method is high-intensity but short-duration movement. Even 20 to 30 seconds of quick walking, stair climbing, or a short burst of jogging increases nitric oxide release. This doesn't require long workouts or gym sessions. These brief bursts mimic ancestral patterns of movement that kept blood vessels active. When you activate your muscles intensely for a short period, your vessels respond by opening wider and releasing more nitric oxide. Doing this a few times a day helps maintain elasticity in the arteries. Breathing practices also influence nitric oxide levels. Slow, deep nasal breathing increases nitric oxide production in the sinuses and delivers it into the lungs and bloodstream. This helps oxygen distribute more efficiently throughout the body. Many people breathe through their mouths without realizing it, which reduces nitric oxide production and increases stress. By breathing through your nose during walking, exercise, and even rest, you support circulation naturally. Sunlight supports vitality by improving vitamin D levels and lowering stress hormones. Vitamin D plays a major role in cardiovascular health, and low levels are associated with reduced vascular function. Sunlight also boosts nitric oxide production in the skin, which helps the arteries relax. Exposing your arms, face, or legs to morning or midday sun for 10 to 20 minutes increases nitric oxide and supports the circadian rhythm, helping your body balance hormones more effectively. Hydration is another important factor. Your blood becomes thicker when you're dehydrated, making it harder for your heart to pump efficiently. Drinking enough water helps maintain smooth circulation and prevents unnecessary strain on the cardiovascular system. Adding electrolytes or mineral-rich salts can improve hydration and support nerve and muscle function, which play roles in circulation as well. Maintaining a healthy weight, especially around the midsection, greatly improves circulation. Belly fat releases inflammatory chemicals that damage blood vessels over time. When you reduce carbs and focus on nutrient-dense foods, the body burns stored fat more efficiently, reducing this inflammation and improving hormone balance. Losing even a small amount of abdominal fat removes pressure from the cardiovascular system. Another aspect of improving circulation involves reducing foods and habits that damage blood vessels. Processed oils, refined sugar, artificial additives, and excessive alcohol increase inflammation and stiffen arteries. Replacing these with whole foods and healthier fats helps the body repair itself. The liver also plays a major role because it filters toxins and regulates cholesterol. When your liver is overloaded with processed food, circulation suffers. Supporting the liver with cruciferous vegetables, lemon water, and natural whole foods helps improve blood flow indirectly. Stress reduction is equally important because chronic stress constricts blood vessels and increases cortisol. High cortisol reduces nitric oxide production. When you incorporate daily habits like short walks, breathing exercises, sunlight exposure, and adequate sleep, your stress hormones settle. Lower stress means your blood vessels relax more easily and circulation improves. All these factors work together to create a stronger, more energetic body. When nutrient-dense foods provide the building blocks, healthy fats stabilize hormones, nitric oxide, boosting foods and habits improve vessel flexibility, and stress is reduced, the entire circulatory system becomes more efficient. This leads to better stamina, sharper thinking, healthier aging, and a greater sense of well-being because the body finally receives the oxygen and nutrients it needs to perform at its best.